Yo guys, welcome to The Last Lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
I'm quite invested in things that Helmut Marko says because he does like to say things.
Oh God, I can't stop saying things.
Yeah, he's a bit of a loose cannon, is old Helmut, and he likes to come out with something. And he was on I think it was the Inside Line podcast, which I saw it pop up on my Twitter, and I didn't listen to it, but then today I've seen quotes that have come out of that podcast, and of course Helmut Marko has dropped some fire because he always seems to, essentially suggesting that Christian Horner wasn't backing the signing of Nick de Vries. He wasn't. It was Helmut Marko's idea to bring de Vries in, but Helmut has now said, at the moment, it looks like he was right, admits Marko, as in, it looks like Christian was right about de Vries not being the guy, which is pretty, I mean, as a team manager,
it's quite damning.
Is that the way you would go about?
Lucas, you're rubbish. Get out.
Well, I don't know. The way I look at it is, I like the cultures of these teams, and Red Bull is brutal. We all know that, and this plays to that. But I think that their brutalist nature pays off in their performance. So I think yes, Helmut's speaking a lot, but in many ways, from like looking at it and actually thinking about the effect that has on the team, at least it pushes everyone to be at their best, and it rewards people that are doing well. And if Nick de Vries at the moment's validating a really positive response from his management staff, then I guess you got to think about what culture you're actually building if that performance is encouraged.
Yeah,
that's the most politically correct way I can do it.
Well, I guess because I know that Red Bull, there is that sink or swim mentality. I remember I chatted to Callan O'Keefe a while back, who used to be ex-Red Bull kind of junior, and he was very much like, Red Bull, when they're looking for junior drivers, they're not looking for someone to bring in and develop. They're looking for the next best thing. Yeah, they're looking for, right, we'll sign you, we'll give you the resource, and then you do your thing. We're just kind of they're very kind of hands off in that way. They're not looking to manage and grow. And obviously, look, when you get to the F1, get to the F1 team, get to AlphaTauri / Red Bull, all the lights and all of the pressure. I do wonder how much like Helmut realizes that, in his position, when he makes comments like this, whether he's entitled to feel how he feels, right? But obviously, it is going to get picked up because he is ultimately the guy who seems to be just as, if not the most in control of who sits in that AlphaTauri in particular.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if he realizes that.
I think he does. I think he knows when he says this sort of stuff that he's saying it for a reason, and his way, I think.
But what's the reason?
People,
that's what I mean.
But I think his way of motivating people is to just.
Do you think that's his idea? Because it doesn't feel very. I don't know.
I mean,
that's a stretch.
There's different people that motivate in different ways.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't think he would say it if he thought, well, yeah, I'm just going to fuck up the base here and just say what I like and whatever. I think there has to be some element of like, I want to try and push Nick by basically saying something derogatory about him. To improve his performance, so that he knows if he doesn't improve, he's out of here.
How I do is like, I'm like prove you wrong, whatever.
Yeah.
When you've managed different drivers, obviously, is it on you to understand because if you give every driver the same approach, certain drivers' personality is going to respond better or worse. So is it on you to understand how to get the best out of these drivers?
Yeah, massively, but where you don't have to be different is that underlying, in Formula One, it's obvious, but when you actually think about it, Nick de Vries has a long line of people. If you were to actually look at how many people were stood behind Nick de Vries wanting his seat, there's loads of people, and I think that creates natural pressure. And because ultimately every driver there is replaceable, and I think it's really important, especially like when you're bringing up the young breed, because it's a business, they have to remember that they're replaceable, as harsh as that is, because otherwise there's going to be better people that don't get anything at all, and no one's ever speaking about them because no one knows about them.
Yeah.
So it's like, the way I think is, they're at the top of their game, but to be at the top of their game, they need to like really earn it, because they're still going to be well off in F2, but to be in F1 or whatever, It's just the harsh reality of being at the top of something massive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lawrence Barretto was reporting earlier in the week that Ricciardo is open to an AlphaTauri move, and the Red Bull family
are open to it as well.
Which combined with these comments from Helmut,
it's not looking good, Brev.
I mean, do we think mid-season would that happen mid-season? I think De Vries, I think he does need to. I could see a swap happening mid-season. I really could.
After the summer break,
if there's not a up to, what is it? Belgium's the last race before the summer break, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what we've got: Austria, Silverstone, Hungary. Yeah, there's 4 more races. I think De Vries needs a good 4 races. If
he doesn't beat Yuki Tsunoda once in those,
or at least show performance. Like he was, I think he was 20 seconds off of Yuki before Yuki had his issues in Canada.
Yeah,
like it's.
Yeah, but he still went off anyway with Magnussen, didn't he? In Canada.
Oh God, yeah.
That was set 8 driving.
That was from
everyone involved during that. So,
does it make you miss the driving at all, Tobin, watching the F1 and also managing these drivers?
Yeah, it does actually. It's really fun. It's really fun. But back to what you were saying though, at least Nick De Vries, by the way, it could be worse, because if you think about what happened to Daniel Kvyat back in the day, at least he's unlikely anyway to lose both his drive and his girlfriend with whatever happens. You have to be careful.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Moving mad at it.
Yeah. I think at the very least, yes, he's probably hopefully safe in that regard.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's just a situation of the seat's gone pro, but at least,
Yeah, I could definitely see a
strong and stable.
I could see a mid-season quick, because what is there to lose from putting in Daniel for the second half of the season?
What I am going to say though, that Red Bull needs to be careful of, is Nick De Vries going to be as effective on TikTok as Daniel Ricciardo is right now? You don't want the numbers to plummet. You don't want the TikTok likes to go down drastically. I think that's something they've got to balance out and bear in mind.
Yeah.
Because they're going to lose a lot with Daniel Ricciardo, and I don't think they're going to gain it back with De Vries on a social platform.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, audience is your number one asset, right? So, and Daniel's actually, he's reeling that in.
Yeah, he is. So for me, I'd just leave it how it is.